welcome to another Lawn Fawn video. Today we are introducing our brand new set Fintastic Friends and its coordinating dies. So here is the first part of Fintastic Friends, and that's this great fish bowl. And then we also have a fish tank. And then we have all of the things to fill these fish tanks and fish bowls with. So we have all of these great and cute designs of different kinds of fish, like a little traditional goldfish there. And we made these fish facing in different directions, that way they can kind of interact in the fish tank and fish bowl. I love that little guy there. Then we have our hermit crab. And then fun things for helping to set the scene, like the piece of coral and then the little castle, some rocks, and some little seaweed pieces. And then we've got this cute little fish food too, which I love. Now here are some bubbles, so we have two different separate sizes of circles and then some bubbles all clustered together. And of course a heart. It's not a Lawn Fawn set without a little heart in it. Then we have the Your Fintastic sentiment, best fishes, and thank you. And thank you to Ivy for coming up with that one. And here we have our exclamation point that you can add to any of the phrases. So now I'm going to use some Copic markers to do some coloring, and here I'm doing just simple with two colors and just adding a little bit of darkness around the bottom and the edges to make it look like the sand has a little bit of movement there. And next I'll start to fill the bowl with water. Now in large areas like this, it can be pretty hard to get kind of an even look. So I'm trying to just go in little circles so that if there is some unevenness, it looks more like the water moving. So I'm just doing little circles and working my way up to the top of the fish bowl. And just trying to connect all of those edges so there's no harsh lines. And I think it ends up looking pretty cool, like it does kind of look like movement of water there. And so now I did kind of blue-greens for the fish bowl, so I thought it'd be fun to try some blues for the fish tank, so more kind of classic blue colors. And so I'm just kind of adding the colors slowly, and you'll see at first it's looking kind of messy, and then as I go over it, it'll even it out. And then once you add all of the little fish and stuff inside, it can cover up any unevenness also. So I'm trying to create some lightness kind of towards the center and then darkness towards the outside edges. So I'm just adding that peacock blue there just to kind of darken up that edge along the outside, along the edges of the fish tank. And now I can go ahead and color in all that sand at the bottom of the fish tank too. And I'll pull that darker color into the center and keep the center lighter. And I'll do the same idea with the bottom of the fish tank too. Now I always go outside the lines, especially with this set because of those little edges of the water, so I'm using a white gel pen just to go over all of my little mistakes and then no one will ever know. And now the really fun part, and that's coloring in all these little fish. Now I like to use the lines on the fish to help me know where to put the shading. So right around the outside towards the tail and then on his little fins. And then I can blend those out and he really gets a cool three-dimensional look. Now here I was inspired by a card by Yainea, and I thought her coloring was so gorgeous on these fish. I just had to try to replicate it. So I'm putting just a little bit of darkness on the bottom and just pulling it up to the top and keeping the top really light. And I think it just looks so pretty. And I'm going to color his little baby there the same way. So just blend that yellow just nice and light to the top. And then do the same idea with these dark grays. So I'll be able to blend it to the top and really get some cool shading. Yainea is just such an amazing colorer, so I couldn't wait to try it. And I'll just repeat the same thing on the little baby guy there. Now here I noticed that the YR15 is a pretty good classic like goldfish cracker kind of goldfish color, so it looks pretty good, but I wanted to add some shading, so I added that darker orange in, and I like how he turned out kind of as this kind of orangey goldfish. Now for the next fish that I'm doing, I really wanted him to have a blue-gray color, not just plain gray. So I went over with the B00 marker and then over it with the N2 marker. And you can see what a cool color that is, almost like a marlin kind of color. I just love it. So it's really fun to do that. I love that you can get different looks out of the markers by layering two completely random colors. And then now I'll add some shading to the shell for the hermit crab. And once again, I'm using the lines of this stamp to tell me where to put my shading, and it really does end up giving a three-dimensional look. I just love that little hermit crab. He's just so cute. And then I'll blend that red out to the whiter parts of the image there. Now I'm doing the same idea for the coral. I didn't have a reddish orange marker, so I layered orange first, then that light prawn R22, and now the R24. And you can see that it's got that reddish orange coral look. So I love doing that, getting more uses out of my markers that way. And then I'm fixing my mistakes again with my little white gel pen. It really is my savior for all these. And then once you die cut it, you really can't tell that you used the white gel pen to fix those. And now I'm using those same colors of brown that I used for the sand in the fish tank and fishbowl for this little castle here. And so I'm just going to blend that. Now you'll see those two colors didn't blend very well. So I'm picking up some of the dark marker with the light marker. So I'm just going to go ahead and blend those. So actually it's the medium to the light. So take the light to the medium colored marker and just blend that. And you'll see how much better that looks than before I did this light to dark touching. And now the very darkest one I'll just use for the little windows. And then that's YG23 and YG25. And now you can see all of the coloring done and how fun some simple two-color shading really makes these fish look three-dimensional. So here are the coordinating dies, and I'm just breaking them apart at the little tabs, the little wire tabs, and separating all of the pieces so that I can line them up with my stamped images. So I'll just line them up with the outside of the stamped image, and I like to hold it in place with some post-it note tape, run it through my die cut machine, and then get these great die cuts. So here I love, oh, that little fish when he comes out of the die. I don't know why, I always get excited about it. They're just so cute. So here are these little fish, and now here is the fun part, and that's creating your own fish tanks. I just have such a blast with it. So you'll see here I'm just kind of playing around going, I don't know where things should go. You can kind of just mess around with it and have fun. This is a really fun activity for kids too. They just love being able to create their own little fish tanks. Now here I am die cutting some different papers from the pint-sized pattern collection. So I'm using a scallop circle here. And then here is the new ocean wave border, which is a perfect combination to this stamp set. And I'm going to run some more pint-sized pattern paper through. And now I can start forming my card. And this card design is one by Shari that I just loved. So I'm so excited to get to show you in the video. So I'm layering all of my little pieces here, and now I'm using just some glue there to glue down my die cut pieces. Layer it on top with some foam adhesive. And now that I have my little ocean wave border cut, I wasn't sure how tall to make it. So once the whole card was assembled, I was able to decide, and now I can trim that off to the perfect size. I'll use some black licorice ink to stamp my sentiment. And now it's ready to be layered onto my card. And then I'll also use some foam adhesive for that circle just to give it a little extra something. So that's a really cute, fun card. Now here I wanted to show you the difference between using the die cuts and just stamping directly in the fishbowl, which is really fun too. So you can stamp your whole scene and then color versus using the die. So it's two different looks that I think are both really awesome. Now here I've created a little scene based off a card by Yanea, the one that inspired me with my coloring too. And so it's a similar scene to hers, and I'm gluing down all the pieces that are in the background with liquid glue. And then I'm going to have two pieces popped up with foam adhesive, and that's the castle and the largest fish. So it's a really nice way to give some cool dimension to this fish tank. So you'll see here when I turn it on its side how cool it looks. It really does look like there's motion going through it. So now I'm using the thank you sentiment on some little white cardstock there. And I've got some pint-sized pattern paper to back it and this little blue star piece. And then my card base has Let's Polka Mon Ami paper on it. So I love that these two collections can work together well. And so you can see here how great those colors look together. And then now I can add my fish tank with some foam adhesive. And because I spent so much time on the coloring, I thought it'd be nice to make a nice simple card. Some more foam adhesive there, and now the card is all done. I just love the fun and happy cards you can create with this set. So this is Fintastic Friends and its coordinating dies. This set is too cute because you can create your own fish tank scenes. You can do it with the dies, or you could stamp directly onto the fish tanks too and get kind of two different looks of it. It's so much fun to mix and match all of these images, and I can't wait to see what kind of cool fish tanks and fish bowls you guys come up with. So make sure to share them with us. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye.